Welcome to Stuff You Should Probably Know About Career Technical Education for Counselors and Administrators with Jessica Progolski and Chuck Wade from the Sonoma County Office of Education. In this series, we answer the most frequently asked questions we receive about career education and share updates on trends and the best practices in CTE.
Hello, everyone. Our inaugural episode addresses a frequently asked question that we hear from folks new to career technical education, as well as veteran career educators. What is a pathway, anyway? Stay tuned.
Our college and career readiness force at SCO has been inspired by the path of critical hope, described by Jeff Duncan Andrade in his article, Note to Educators, Hope Required When Growing Roses in Concrete, from the Harvard Education Review, and in a number of speaking engagements we've been lucky enough to attend. Andrade emphasizes the student need for both an actively present sense of agency and the support required to help them stare down the often painful path that lies before them if they are to be able to take advantage of all of the opportunities available to them. While we want to recognize that there are multiple ways to provide viable paths and to develop agency in young people, we think CTE pathways are one of the best. And as you'll see, there is some evidence to back that up.
A CTE pathway is a sequence of 2 or more CTE courses within a student's area of career interest. Pathways are designed to connect high school classes to college, industry certifications, and/or a career. There are 15 industry sectors identified by the California Department of Education, each of which is divided into from 3 to 7 pathways. To qualify to be identified and listed for an industry sector, each pathway had to meet a number of criteria, including an occupational focus, demonstrated sequence potential, reasonable and appropriate for high school, leads to high skill, high wage, or high demand jobs, sustainable and viable over the next 10 years.
So why does all of this matter? Pathways aren't just about giving fun elective choices to students. They can lead to better life outcomes for young people. High school students who complete a CTE pathway are more likely than their non-CTE concentrator peers to graduate from high school on time and also to matriculate to post-secondary education opportunities. In turn, these students report better employment and health outcomes than their peers who don't finish a CTE pathway. These results are amplified for students of color and for English language learners. In addition, the California Schools Dashboard now tracks student progress in CTE pathways and work-based learning experiences as part of the College and Career Indicator. Several important funding sources, including the Perkins Grant, the CTE Incentive Grant, and the Strong Workforce Program, also require CTE pathway compliance.
At a minimum, CTE pathways should include the following components: correctly coded courses in CalPads, teachers credentialed correctly to teach pathway courses, and a progression of standards throughout the pathway. Each of the 11 essential elements of high-quality CTE should be present, including industry partnerships, high-quality professional development, and a plan for promotion and outreach. The CTE model curriculum standards for each pathway are designed to be taught throughout the pathway, not in any one course. In the example in this image from the business and finance sector, you can see that there are 3 pathways. The first standard in the business management pathway, A1, is broken down into A1.1 through A1.5. The lower numbered components might be covered in an introductory course, while the higher ones would be reserved for concentrator or capstone courses.
So how would you go about developing a new CTE pathway? Or deciding which courses to develop into pathways? One place to start might be with the local labor market indicators. Which high-wage, high-need industry sectors are likely to be offering employment in your area in the next 5 or 10 years? This image comes from the Sonoma County Economic Development Board website. Once you've identified an industry sector, You'll use the pathway standards to develop a sequenced progression of courses. You'll identify the correct CalPADS codes, and you'll assign the appropriately credentialed teachers. We'll talk more about CTE credentialing in a later episode. Ideally, courses will include a range of work-based learning experiences across the continuum, as well as opportunities for students to develop and demonstrate the knowledge, skills, and attributes identified as essential in the district graduate profile or portrait of a graduate. A pathway will generally have from 2 to 4 courses, but will include at least 300 hours of instruction.
One question we hear frequently is, can a single course be in multiple pathways? The answer is yes. However, typically that course would have to be the introductory course for multiple pathways in the same industry sector, as shown in this image from Coronado Unified School District. Typically, the same course cannot be the capstone course for multiple pathways. One scheduling implication of this is that the projected enrollment will need to be higher for introductory courses than for concentrator or capstone courses, since not all students will be pathway completers.
We are also often asked, where can I find pathway examples and representative course outlines to help get an idea of what pathway sequences look like in different industry sectors? One place to look for inspiration is CTE Online, which contains a searchable database of both curriculum and course outlines. Similarly, the University of California Curriculum Integration Institute website houses a collection of innovative courses that integrate A through G academic work with career technical education.
You've been listening to Stuff You Should Probably Know About Career Technical Education for Counselors and Administrators with Jessica Progalski and Chuck Wade from the Sonoma County Office of Education. Find this video and other resources related to career technical education, work-based learning, and integrated career pathways at www.ccrforce.org.